Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Gold IRA Blueprint Podcast. We're doing a deep dive today into Goldco, and we want to help you figure out, if they're the right company for your Gold IRA needs. We're going to be breaking down a detailed review from, you guessed it, Gold IRA Blueprint.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Goldco's getting a lot of buzz lately, especially for folks looking to add, a little security
Right here.
to their retirement savings with precious metals.
Right. You've been asking about adding that extra layer of security to your retirement plan, and a lot of people are turning to Gold IRAs to do just that. So we'll look at what makes Goldco tick, and you can decide if they're the right choice for you. And by the way, don't forget we've got a free checklist over at goldirablueprint.com for exclusive that can help you compare different Gold IRA companies.
Yeah, that checklist is a fantastic resource. Now let's talk about Goldco. What is drawing so much attention to them?
Well, they specialize in precious metals IRAs. We're talking
Ugh.
gold, silver, those assets that people often think of as a safe haven, especially when the economy feels a bit shaky.
Interesting. So they focus specifically on precious metals, unlike some other firms that offer a broader range of investments.
Right.
It seems they've carved out a niche for themselves.
And when you think about it, that specialization can be a good thing. It means they're really laser focused on one area, and that can translate to a much deeper level of expertise.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting that Goldco has earned the trust of some pretty big names. Like Sean Hannity and Chuck Norris, they've both publicly endorsed Goldco. And that kind of celebrity trust factor can be reassuring for a lot of potential investors.
For sure. It definitely adds that layer of credibility. But
Hmm.
celebrity endorsements aside, what else makes Goldco stand out in this crowded market?
Well, one thing that really caught my eye in the Gold IRA Blueprint review was Goldco's emphasis on customer service. They really seem to prioritize transparency and making the process of investing in gold and silver as straightforward as possible. They even offer a unique buyback guarantee, which we'll discuss a little bit later.
Okay. Transparency and a buyback guarantee. Those are two big pluses for sure. But let's be real. No company is perfect. What are some of the concerns that have been raised about Goldco?
Yeah, that's a fair point. While the majority of customer feedback is positive, there have been some complaints, primarily centered around customer service response times and some occasional account management issues.
So it's not all sunshine and rainbows then. The review does mention a few instances of customers, experiencing delays in getting their questions answered or some hiccups with their statements.
Yes, those issues have been reported. However, it's important to look at the bigger picture. Goldco consistently receives high ratings on platforms like Trustpilot, the Better Business Bureau, and Customer Affairs.
Yeah, so it seems like those issues, while valid, might be isolated incidents. It's always a good idea to be aware of potential drawbacks, but you also have to consider the overwhelming positive feedback that they've received.
Absolutely. It's about weighing the pros and cons right. Speaking of which, let's say you're intrigued by Goldco and you want to know more about actually investing with them. What does that process look like?
Okay, let's break it down. The Gold IRA Blueprint Review outlines a pretty simple four-step process. First, you open an IRA account with Goldco. This involves meeting their eligibility requirements and providing some standard documentation.
Right. Very similar to opening any other type of financial account. Then comes the funding stage, which can be done through a direct transfer from an existing retirement account or by rolling over funds from a 401k.
Now, for those who might not be familiar with the term rollover, it essentially means transferring your retirement savings from a previous employer's plan into a new IRA.
Yeah.
This can be a great way to consolidate your accounts and have more control over your investments.
Yeah, and it's important to note that there can be tax implications with rollovers, so it's always a good idea to consult with a tax professional to understand the specifics of your situation.
Okay, so you've opened your account, you funded it, now comes the fun part, choosing your precious metals.
This is where it gets exciting. You're not just investing in some abstract fund, you're actually selecting the specific metals you want to hold in your IRA.
And Goldco offers a variety: gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, each with its own characteristics and potential benefits. It's like building your own personalized portfolio of precious metals.
Exactly. And this is where Goldco's expertise really shines. Their team can guide you through the different options and help you choose the metals that align with your investment goals and risk tolerance.
It's like having a personal concierge for your precious metals IRA. Once you've made your selection, the final step is to finalize everything by signing the necessary contracts.
And as with any financial agreement, it's crucial to carefully review those contracts to make sure you understand all the terms and conditions.
Absolutely. No one wants any surprises when it comes to their retirement savings. So we've covered the basics of what Goldco is and how the investment process works. But before we dive deeper into the specifics of their offerings and fees, let's take a step back and talk about the bigger picture.
Yeah, I think it's a great time to remind everyone about that free checklist available at goldrablueprint.com/exclusive. It can really help you compare different gold IRA companies and figure out which one aligns best with your individual needs.
That checklist is an invaluable resource, especially if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the options out there. And don't worry, we'll come back to it later in our deep dive as well. Now let's shift gears and talk about the pros and cons of investing in a gold IRA with Goldco.
Sounds good. Let's start with the potential benefits. What are some of the advantages of adding precious metals to your retirement portfolio?
One of the key benefits is their potential to act as a hedge against inflation. When the cost of goods and services rises, the purchasing power of your dollar decreases.
So, in other words, your money doesn't go as far. Exactly. But historically, gold and silver have tended to hold their value, and sometimes even increase in value during those inflationary periods.
So it's like having a safety net in case things get a little rocky in the economy.
Precisely. And another benefit is diversification. Holding assets like stocks, bonds, and precious metals can help spread your risk and potentially enhance your overall returns.
That makes sense. You wouldn't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right?
Exactly. A well-diversified portfolio can help you weather those market storms more effectively. And beyond those practical benefits, there's also the psychological factor of owning tangible assets. Some people find comfort in holding physical gold or silver, knowing that they have something concrete in their possession.
Yeah, it's like having a little piece of security you can actually hold in your hand.
Exactly. It's a tangible reminder of your investment. And for some, that adds a level of emotional security that's hard to replicate with digital assets. But it's important to remember that investing in precious metals also comes with its own set of considerations.
Right. Let's talk about those. What are some of the potential drawbacks that you should be aware of?
Well, one of the main considerations is market volatility. While precious metals have historically held their value over the long term, their prices can fluctuate in the short term.
So you can see your investment go up and down just like with stocks.
Yes. Although precious metals tend to be less volatile than stocks, they're not immune to those market swings.
Okay. So you've got to be prepared for some ups and downs. What else?
Another factor to consider is the cost of storage. When you invest in a gold IRA, you're typically holding physical gold or silver, and that requires secure storage.
And that storage comes with a price tag, right?
Exactly. Goldco works with reputable depositories that specialize in storing precious metals, but those services do come with fees.
Okay. So storage fees are something to factor into the equation. Now, we've talked about the potential benefits and drawbacks of investing in a gold IRA, but what truly sets Goldco apart from other companies in this space?
Well, one thing that really impressed me in the Gold IRA Blueprint review was their unique buyback guarantee.
Right. We touched on that earlier. Can you elaborate on what makes it so special?
Absolutely. Many Gold IRA companies allow you to sell your metals back to them, but Goldco takes it a step further by guaranteeing they'll buy them back at the current market price.
So you're not stuck trying to find a buyer on your own or worrying about getting a fair price.
Exactly. It provides an added layer of security and liquidity, knowing you have an easy exit strategy if you ever need to access your funds quickly.
That peace of mind can be invaluable, especially for retirees who might need to tap into their savings unexpectedly.
Precisely. And it's important to note that this buyback guarantee isn't something you find with every Gold IRA company. It's a testament to Goldco's commitment to customer satisfaction.
Speaking of customer satisfaction,
Mhm.
earlier we mentioned some concerns that have been raised about Goldco. Now that we've delved deeper into their offerings, how do those concerns hold up?
Well, it's true that some customers have reported issues with customer service response times or occasional discrepancies in account statements.
Yes, the review did mention those concerns, but it also highlighted Goldco's overwhelmingly positive ratings on platforms like Trustpilot and the Better Business Bureau.
Exactly. And it seems that Goldco is actively working on improving their customer service based on their responses to online reviews.
So it sounds like they're taking those concerns seriously and making efforts to address them.
Yes. And I think it's important to remember that no company is perfect. Even the best companies will have a few unhappy customers from time to time.
Right. It's about looking at the overall picture. Now, we've covered a lot of ground so far, but I want to make sure we address some of the specific questions that you might have about investing with Goldco.
Absolutely. Let's dive into the nitty-gritty details.
First things first, what kind of fees can you expect when investing with Goldco?
Well, the fee structure varies depending on the type of account you choose and the services you require. But generally, you can expect to pay an initial setup fee when you open your account.
Okay, And then what about ongoing fees?
There will likely be an annual maintenance fee to cover administrative costs and the cost of storing your precious metals.
Right. We talked about those storage fees earlier. And are there any other fees to be aware of?
There might be transaction fees associated with buying or selling metals within your IRA, but those will be clearly outlined in your account agreement.
So transparency is key here. You want to make sure you understand all the costs involved before making any decisions.
Absolutely. And it's always a good idea to compare fees across different gold IRA companies to ensure you're getting a competitive deal.
Speaking of comparing companies, we've talked a lot about Goldco's strengths, but how do they stack up against their competitors?
That's a great question. There are other reputable companies in the precious metals IRA space, such as American Hartford Gold, Birch Gold Group, and even Public.com, which offers a broader range of investment options.
Right. We touched on those companies earlier, but let's dive a bit deeper into those comparisons. What are some of the key differences between Goldco and American Hartford Gold?
Well, one key difference is their focus. Goldco offers a wider range of precious metals, including platinum and palladium, while American Hartford Gold primarily focuses on gold IRAs.
So if you're looking for a broader selection of metals, Goldco might be a better fit. But if you're primarily interested in gold, American Hartford Gold could be a strong contender.
Exactly. And in terms of customer experience, both companies are generally well regarded. They both offer personalized guidance and support throughout the investment process.
Okay, now let's compare Goldco with Birch Gold Group. What are some of the notable distinctions there?
One key difference is their approach to education. Birch Gold Group is known for its extensive educational resources, which can be very helpful for investors who are new to precious metals or want to learn more about the intricacies of gold IRAs.
So if you're someone who values knowledge and wants to feel empowered to make informed decisions, Birch Gold Group might be a good option to consider. But how do they compare in terms of their investment offerings?
Both Goldco and Birch Gold Group offer a variety of precious metals, including gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They both have a strong reputation in the industry and provide guidance to help investors choose the right metals for their portfolio.
Okay, finally, let's compare Goldco with Public.com. This is a bit of an apples to oranges comparison, since Public.com isn't solely focused on precious metals, right?
That's right. Public.com offers a broader range of investment options, including stocks, ETFs, and even cryptocurrencies. So they're appealing to investors who want to diversify their portfolio across different asset classes.
But if your primary interest is in precious metals, Goldco might be a more specialized and suitable choice. It really comes down to your investment priorities and whether you're looking for a one-stop shop for all your investment needs or a company that specializes in precious metals.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to address the elephant in the room, scams.
That's a great point. Unfortunately, the precious metals market, like any other financial market, can attract its share of bad actors.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to do your due diligence before choosing a gold IRA company. The Gold IRA Blueprint Review emphasizes this and provides some great tips on how to spot red flags and protect yourself from scams.
And speaking of resources, let's remind our listeners about that free checklist available at goldarablueprint.com/exclusive.
That checklist is an invaluable tool for comparing different gold IRA companies and making an informed decision.
Yeah, it really is a helpful resource.
Yeah.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive into Goldco, let's kind of bring it all together. We've, explored their offerings, weighed the pros and cons, even sized them up against the competition. What are your final thoughts?
Well, for me, what stands out is Goldco's commitment to providing a secure and transparent way to invest in precious metals for retirement. They offer that focused approach, a variety of metals to choose from,
Yeah.
and that standout buyback guarantee.
Right. That buyback guarantee really does seem to set them apart. It's like they're saying, hey, we believe in these metals so much, we'll buy them back from you, no questions asked.
Exactly, and that can be incredibly reassuring for investors, especially those who are new to precious metals and might be hesitant about, locking their money into something that feels less familiar than traditional stocks or bonds.
Right. It takes away that fear of being stuck with an asset you can't easily sell if you need to. Now, we talked about the benefits of precious metals as a hedge against inflation. But what's the current market outlook? Is now a good time to consider adding gold or silver to your portfolio?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? While we can't predict the future, the Gold IRA Blueprint Review does highlight some interesting trends. Demand for precious metals, particularly gold and silver, has been on the rise in recent years.
And why is that?
Well, there are a few factors at play. Economic uncertainty, geopolitical instability, and even concerns about the long-term value of the US dollar are all contributing to a renewed interest in precious metals.
So people are looking for something stable, something that has historically held its value during turbulent times. And gold and silver fit that bill.
Precisely. They're seen as safe haven assets, a store of value that has weathered countless economic storms throughout history.
It's like that old saying, gold is the money of kings.
Exactly. And while we can't offer financial advice, it's clear that precious metals are having a moment. Whether or not it's the right time for you to invest is a personal decision that depends on your individual circumstances and risk tolerance.
Right, and that's where that free checklist at goldblueprint.com/exclusive can be so helpful. It guides you through the key questions to consider and helps you compare different gold IRA companies to find the one that aligns with your needs.
It's a fantastic resource for anyone considering a gold IRA, whether you're just starting your research or ready to make a decision.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Goldco, let's leave our listeners with some final thoughts. If you're looking to diversify your retirement portfolio with precious metals, Goldco offers a secure and transparent platform with a unique buyback guarantee.
They've earned a solid reputation in the industry, and their team of experts can guide you through the process of setting up and managing your gold IRA.
But remember, this is just one piece of the retirement planning puzzle. It's essential to consider your overall financial goals, risk tolerance, and consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Exactly. We've provided you with a wealth of information, and now it's up to you to do your own research and make the choice that's right for you.
We hope this deep dive has given you valuable insights and helped you understand if Goldco is the right fit for your gold IRA needs.
Thanks for joining us.
And until next time,
Happy investing.